Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. As always, my name is Tim. This is Freight Master Resources, where we provide tips, tools, resources, and industry news to help you grow and be more successful as a freight broker, freight agent, carrier, truck driver, right? This is really kind of a two-part video. So I hope everybody sticks with me through this. First part of this is we're going to kind of revisit something that was announced back in May, because I came across a post that sort of revived this topic, and that is starting on November 18th of this year. The FMCSA will begin downgrading the commercial driver's licenses, or CDLs, of drivers with a prohibited status in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. Okay. And so as of then, what that meant was that 163,318 CDL and CLP holders need to act fast or risk losing their driving privileges. Okay. So I guess if you haven't addressed this, you should quickly, because we're only into August. Well, before you know it, November will be here. Okay. In fact, I was just talking to my wife the other day, and she's like, "Geez, can you believe that summer just went right by?" I said, "Yeah, I know. Seems like all I do is work." But I am going to be off. Quick side note, the second, that whole week, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am going on vacation. I will be back Monday, the 9th. So little heads up on that. So I do apologize, but that's coming up in 10 or 11 days. Yeah. But the second part of this video that I really kind of wanted to discuss, and this is completely like off script, I don't have, a lot going on there, is one of the things that was mentioned in that post was illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants obtaining CDLs, CLPs, right? I guess for whatever reason, maybe I was under a rock, was not entirely aware of this. And it's a little bit concerning. Unknown caller. Oh, apologize for that. But it says the laws for obtaining a CLP as an undocumented immigrant are the same as the laws for non-citizens obtaining a commercial driver's license. Both federal law and state law provide for issuing CDLs to non-citizens. Okay, that's a little bit alarming to me, and I started to kind of dig into it a little bit, and we've had accidents, and things from non-citizens, and yeah, it's okay. Again, this is completely unscripted, so I apologize for the ums and the ahs, but it's kind of got me to thinking, that they keep talking about a truck driver shortage, right? And in recent years, there's been a noticeable increase in the number of immigrants, including undocumented immigrants, employed in the trucking and commercial driving industry, right? And so this whole trend has been fueled basically in part by a growing shortage of qualified drivers, right? Now, that means qualified drivers. Do you believe in the driver shortage? I don't know. Is it I mean, I guess there's a lot of different viewpoints on this and things. I know for myself as a, mainly as a broker, I don't have any trouble covering loads. Again, a majority of my stuff is dedicated, right? I use the same carrier, same drivers, same everything. For the most part, I do have some spot freight that I move from time to time, but a majority of the stuff that I have is dedicated. So maybe that's part of the reason why I've been kind of like under a rock. But it seems like when I do have spot freight, there's typically no issues with me getting that load covered, right? Now I know that for some of you brokers, or even you as a driver saying, hey, I had to sit for a couple of days because I couldn't find a load. Well, there's more to that, right? Was it a profitable load or was it just a load, right? And for you as a broker, well, I couldn't get the load covered, well, was it profitable for your driver? Did they book the load and inevitably fall off because a higher paying load came along, right? So I don't know. I don't have the statistics, and I did try to look them up, and I think that there's a lot more to this. I don't think that there's a driver shortage, in my humble opinion, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But this whole thing with hiring, undocumented workers or immigrant drivers is prompting trucking companies to turn to immigrant labor to fill those essential roles, essentially, is what they're telling us, right? And this influx of I'm getting tongue-tied again. I apologize, y'all. Has also raised concerns about road safety and accident rates, right? Like I kind of mentioned a little bit ago, at least I think I did, about, the risks involved with hiring undocumented or immigrant drivers, right? Many of these drivers lack the same training, experience, and familiarity with U.S. traffic laws, as their native-born counterparts. And so as a result, there's a heightened awareness of the potential risks associated with semi-truck crashes involving immigrant drivers, right? And undocumented drivers, particularly those that are undocumented, like I said. So I don't know. I don't feel like we should be issuing CDLs to undocumented workers. It's taking away from American jobs, American truck drivers, right? Because if they can hire, an undocumented worker cheaper, maybe as a company driver. And again, I'd love your guys' input on this because unfortunately, I'm not overly knowledgeable on this because it's just kind of recently sort of come to light. I mean, I guess I kind of knew about it, but I didn't really know about it, right? So if you could enlighten me at all, I would love to get your feedback on this. But yeah, the challenges faced by immigrant drivers extend beyond road safety, obviously, as they kind of grapple with language barriers, legal uncertainties, and limited access to resources, including healthcare and legal assistance, which if you're an undocumented worker, I don't, it's sort of a touchy subject, right? But I don't think that they should be filling those roles that American citizens should have access to. And again, I think that if trucking companies are hiring undocumented workers, it really kind of, it not only does an injustice to native-born Americans, but those that came through the process of becoming a legalized citizen, right? It does them a disservice, an injustice by hiring undocumented versus those that went through the process and all the legalities and things that are involved to become a U.S. citizen, right? And while many, immigrants view trucking and commercial truck driving as a pathway to economic stability and opportunity, contributing to the industry's workplace diversity and broader fabric of the American economy. Is it really helping the American economy? again, I would love everybody's feedback on this. I did pull up one recent article about a trucker arrested in a fatal Colorado crash that was deported 16 times before the accident. Okay. And I'm just going to read this real quick. This is about the only thing that I have really truly prepared on this subject. Tractor trailer driver who allegedly caused a fatality accident along US 285 on Tuesday, June 11th in Colorado was in the U.S. illegally and had been deported back to Mexico more than a dozen times, the ICE says. According to a report by news station Denver 7, Ignacio Cruz Mendoza, 47, had been ordered by ICE to return to Mexico 2 weeks before the fatal crash. Before that, ICE officials said he was arrested and deported 16 times beginning in 2002, right? So for the last 22 years, he had been in the country 16 times illegally, at least, right? He faces vehicular homicide charges after police say he drove his southbound 18-wheeler off the edge of the road, causing it to roll onto its side and dump a load of pipes and angle iron onto 5 vehicles. One person died at the scene while another was seriously injured, according to the Colorado State Patrol. Mendoza was driving for a company called Monique Trucking LLC at the time of the crash. He was arrested 2 days after the crash. Monique Trucking officials have not commented on the issue. So, like I said, obviously, safety is a big concern. Whether they kill anybody else, themselves, seriously injure or maim somebody or themselves. I don't feel like this is a good idea. And like this person, they'd been deported 16 times, and I don't care what country they come from, right? I really truly don't. I just, like I said, I think that it truly does a disservice to those who went through the legal process of becoming a U.S. citizen, those that are, natural born U.S. citizens, taking those jobs away from them, right? I'm not going to get political about this, remember this type of thing when you go to the polls, when you go to vote, but maybe I am going to say it. Remember all of this when you go to vote, yeah. A little bit maybe of a touchy subject for some, but and again, if you have any insight on this that you can enlighten me a little bit more, like I said, it just I guess I sort of knew about it, but wasn't as knowledgeable of it as I probably should have been. But yeah, so anywho, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Again, I would love your feedback on this. Anything that you can contribute to this topic, I would really value that. Learning from myself and hopefully others. So by all means, I value your input on this. And if you're on the other side of the table, go ahead, call me an a-hole if you want to. I don't care. I don't bring my feelings here. So it'd be kind of a moot point for you to do so, but whatever. Anywho, I hope everybody's having a great day. Again, I apologize for not doing a video Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday. I've really been slammed. I'm working with a potential new client on some additional dedicated lanes that I think that are really going to be helpful to some of my regular carriers who've been looking for that additional freight. So we're kind of going over some of the requirements and things, and what all is needed there, and hopefully all of that will come to fruition, right? So again, I hope everybody's having a great Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. As always, be safe out there and be kind to one another. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all back here Monday. All right.